She was just really nice and cool and like energetic.
She was one that really emphasized, why are you doing that? You're beautiful just the way you are.
My freshman year, I took a lot of business classes because I thought they were interesting and they were a lot of fun. And the teacher who taught them, Chuck Thompson, always had a lot of hands-on projects.
My coaches I had at Sweet Home, I had some great coaches.
Professor I had at Fresno State named John Bonstead. John Bonstead was Jewish, born in Germany.
She was really the one that gave me a desire to want to be in school.
He was just a very, very good math teacher. He was a little bit crotchety sometimes in a way, but he really liked kids. He liked what he did.
She taught us to suck it up and be tough and to work hard and that we could make it to state.
Two of them happened to be social studies teachers in high school that I feel I have mimicked the way I teach.
Mrs. Smith had a situation, she had a junk table, which I thought was treasures at that third grade world.
He was just a very upbeat, positive, happy person, always, every day we came in.
In kindergarten, we started losing teeth around that age. So when we had a wiggly tooth that was about to fall out, she had no problem just plucking that tooth right out of our mouth.
There's never really been just one teacher that has helped me throughout life. It's always been kind of the collective.
Going back to my 5th grade social studies teacher, I think that's kind of where my love and passion for the social sciences began.
Well, I feel like your journey's kind of long and people come into your life at different seasons to help you in whatever you're going through.
College professors that I had, I pursued a degree in outdoor PE, and it was back when it was first developing as a degree program.
That was my school counselor, and his name was Dr. Branson. And I worked with him as a TA and worked with him for about 4 years.
I did not like Mr. Thompson because he was always on me about coming in late or skipping class.
The teacher that impacted me the most was probably Miss Klum. She was my math teacher when I was a freshman.
One was Mrs. Temple. She was a PE teacher when I was in high school, and one was Mr. Neiman. He was an English teacher in high school, and one was Mr. Thompson, who was a business teacher in high school.
Rob has mentored me along the way. He was my leadership teacher when I was here. And
before the Nazis took control, and his whole family had to escape. So what was impressive about Mr. Bonstead was that he was living history.
The most important things that I got from them was the idea for me to think critically.
Mrs. Muntz was the chemistry teacher when I was here at Sweet Home High. Seeing the liquids change colors, making solids out of liquids.
My basketball coach, Coach Kirkland, who would open up the gym for us to practice.
It was just a good memory from that teacher. Kids coming in, and it was like a bomb thing to do, I guess.
Especially in junior high. And I would not have made it out of there if it was not for the counselors involved. And through them, the teachers also got involved.
You got 100% on a spelling test. You got to pick something from the special table. And so the first week went through, I didn't get 100%. And I was sure that somebody was going to pick the prize I wanted, which was on that table.
Junior high, I had a science teacher who taught science. That is not a strong suit for me. She taught it in a way that made it easy and very understandable.
Mrs. Holt, she was always very kind, even though I was somewhat troubled. And then in junior high, the Gravenhorst, Mr. and Mrs. Gravenhorst, had a huge impact in my life. Mrs. Gravenhorst was my coach.
We were on a backpacking trip in the desert, and we had to sit in a circle and decide if we were going to stay for the night or if we were going to continue on and try to find a new camp, and everyone had to give their opinion. And when it came to me, I was like, I don't care what we do. We can stay or we can go. And he kind of called me out on that, and he said, you need to have an opinion.
Mr. Fanning was my math teacher in high school, and I had him for my Algebra 2 class. I think I had him for pre-calculus and calculus as well. And like I said, he was also my cross-country coach.
Because
because of my business background, was given a lot of opportunities I wouldn't have been given otherwise. And that's when I began to realize the value of what he had taught me.
I mean, he was amazing, helped me with my college, helped me figure out what I was going to do in life, and mainly just a great person as a role model to have.
She made me believe that she liked math, so I wanted to like it more. And I had kind of decided I wanted to be a teacher when I was little, and then I wanted to be like her when I grew up.
You know, it just encouraged me to look at my own strengths and my own beauty and stop comparing myself. And I just remember that to this day.
I had other coaches like Rod Rummery was my baseball coach and Jim Johnson were my baseball coaches, and they were just incredible motivators and made me a better coach today.
He had not only an unbelievable sense of knowledge, but he also had his real life experience that he would put into everything. His class design I've taken with me. Everything was clearly laid out.
In college, I had also a history professor, which made me think about the high levels of intellectualism beyond just critical thinking.
I remember, in cross country he had a crummy old Dodge van that was just kind of a piece of junk, and we would all load in his van and he would take us to the beach to run and out into the hills on logging roads.
But after leaving that class, I had no doubt that I was going to study science.
We were like family, our team, cared about each other, and she was a huge part of all that.
The next week, I got 100%. So I get to go to the prize table. I picked a pictorial history book. It was like an encyclopedia. It was a pictorial, and I think it was like 1920s to maybe early 1930s.
She came up with a lot of new ideas that helped me individually and my learning style.
And they wanted me to pass because they wanted me to succeed. And that may have not really stuck at that time, but as I got older, it became much more apparent that that's what they were doing.
You're going to talk in my classroom today, that ain't going to happen. And she could motivate. Again, another teacher where science is not a strong subject, got me to a level that I couldn't have gotten there by myself. And so part of the reason I teach is her.
That kind of helped me speak up for myself and know that my choices have consequences. But these professors, they really pushed me into an area that taught me that to step out of your comfort zone is when you learn the most.
She taught me how to be an athlete and how to be competitive, and all the things that I know about digging deeper, and all of those things came from her, for sure.
It took me a while to realize how much he did for me and how much he cared about what happened to me. And some of the rough times that I had in high school, he was the one who was always like, no, you can't do that. You can't go there. You can't be that person. And while I didn't like it at the time, it was very good advice, and I appreciate it to this day.
And I still remember to this day the comments that he told me about the reports that I had written, and that I was a good writer, and that I thought things through. I was very articulate, and that has driven me in my life when I've had to write.
Rob Younger's been one of the biggest impacts in my life to this day, and I still reach out to him when I need somebody.
But the other lesson that John Bonstead taught me that I try to keep is that your life is as much a learning experiences as anything you can do in education, and that when you can mix those two together, then you've got really something special.
To be able to make good decisions in your life, and to make good decisions and contribute to society as a whole, and to help become a great family person.
He just put a lot of time and energy into that, and it made a big impact on me, I think. And I certainly would credit him with part of why, at least, I decided to become a math teacher.
It didn't matter who you were, didn't matter what you did in or out of school. They held you to a higher standard. They expected good quality work from you.
We won more and more games from my 10th grade year through my 12th grade year, and we went to state tournament, which was absolutely a blast.
I read that over and over and over and looked at pictures over and over and over again.
Through outdoor PE, I decided that I wanted to become a teacher and teach others through that. And so that was probably my most inspirational professors that I had.
But because of them, I was able to finally get my degree in graduate college.
And I let her know how powerful an influence she was in my life as far as becoming an educator.
So thank you to all the teachers and adults and staff along the way that have loved me and cared enough about me to shape me into who I'm turning out to be.
I didn't realize what a huge impact that was until I saw that exact copy of that book in a junk store in La Grande, Oregon. I picked up the book, looked at it, tears came to my eyes because I remembered Mrs. Smith and I remembered the world of education that she opened to me that probably helped me later on to become a history teacher.
A couple of things I appreciate a lot are the way that you guys seem to know the kids individually, personalities, the way they interact and learn. And I am sure that there are kids, my son included, that have so much personality that you probably need extra patience.
Hello, Mr. Tao. I just realized it was Teacher Appreciation Week, and I wanted to show my appreciation for you through this video because I can't do it in person.
Isaac really loves his teachers. He has been blessed. We have been blessed to have that.
You were one of the best math teachers I have had. You made learning math fun and easy.
Unfortunately, I don't always get to make every parent-teacher conference, and that's a bummer because I really would love to tell every one of you in person.
I've always had a hard time with math, and I actually looked forward to your class, so I would say that was a plus.
Keep up the good work. Thank you again for showing up, going the extra mile. You are appreciated. We notice you. Please don't feel like nobody knows and nobody cares, because we know, we see, and we know. We've got the best staff ever. And this year you guys have really, really gone above and beyond.
I'm really upset that we can't finish the semester out with each other, but I'm really excited to see you next year and see what else you have in store, because I am pretty sure that you standing on the desk and throwing pens around was not the weirdest thing you were going to do. Thank you for making learning fun, and I hope you are making it through this tough time. I hope you and your family are healthy and well, and I can't wait to see you again in fall.